Hello and welcome to another ROFFS update of ocean conditions using satellite sea surface temperature and ocean color chlorophyll imagery. Um, for February 13th through 14th, we did have some clouds over the previous weekend, so we did go back a few more days to Thursday and Friday of last week. Overall, the Gulf Stream is still relatively cool. 78 to 77, extending through the Florida Straits, and then cooling down to approximately 76, 75 up here off of North Carolina, Cape Hatteras area. Starting to the south off of the Keys here, and zooming in a little bit, we can see a relatively large eddy here circulating this filament of Gulf Stream water inshore and to the west, and then some cooler water that then extends offshore in between the eddy filament and the Gulf Stream, which is pushed further out. Looking north, we got a couple of small eddies here extending off of Miami, again off of the Stewart area, a couple small ones off Canaveral, up to Ponce and Jacksonville as well. Kind of difficult to see, but here's a good eddy filament. Here's another really good eddy filament that's pretty visible. We can see in this area another eddy filament circulating some water inshore that way, and then a relatively large push offshore off of the Georgetown, Charleston area, and then a relatively large eddy here off of Cape Fear, as well as a smaller eddy here off of Cape Lookout. Let's see here, this is how the filament actually looks. That'll be a little bit easier to see in the corresponding chlorophyll imagery that we'll look at in a second. And then we're gonna pop down off of the Bahamas and the eastern side of the Gulf Stream. So there does appear to be a bit of a clockwise rotation here, which will actually push the eastern edge of the Gulf Stream further east for the guys out of, Stewart to Canaveral or Ponce. Keeping an eye on this corner area. When there is an eddy here, it does push that edge further east. We have been able to see some eddies in the area as well, but we will look at those in the chlorophyll imagery as it's a little bit easier to see. Speaking of, we'll start again to the south. Again, you can see this kind of cooler blended water that's actually coming from north of the Tortugas there, wraps around and extends all the way over to Sugarloaf Key area. And then some smaller eddies in here off of South Florida, the Keys, etc. We'll zoom in a little bit more. Again, we can see this well-defined eddy filament here. And then this large offshore flow green water out here. We'll zoom out real quick. So again, a number of small eddies pushing up the coast that will generally be your better areas to fish. Here's a little bit larger eddy circulating a decent filament of blended water inshore along 20 to 25 fathoms from Ponce all the way down to the Canaveral area. Again, some nicer blended blue water inshore here as well, with this eddy that's out here off of Savannah and extending south to the Jacksonville area. And then to the north, we did have some clouds in the area, but again, this is a large offshore flow of green water, and then the filament will normally be north of that. So the filament and the eddy filament is here. So all this Gulf Stream water then gets circulated this way, and all the green water gets circulated that way in general. As promised, we'll go down here to the south off the Bahamas. Looking in the Northwest Providence Channel, we can see what appears to be some warmer Gulf Stream associated water circulating in here like this, and then cooler, cleaner water from the Abacos and Eleuthera is coming through here and circulating like this. So overall, in the channel, we have a counterclockwise rotation. Counterclockwise rotation, which is relatively normal. As mentioned earlier, we got some nice cleaner water here, certainly off of Eleuthera, east of the northern Eleuthera area. This water comes in here and flows south along, I'd say, Marsh Harbor, and then south to Hole in the Wall area. It does appear here that we have an eddy circulating some of that water inshore, and then right here is a big pocket of blended water flowing offshore. Similarly, it looks like some of this water pushes up and circulates this way here off of Walker's to Stranger's area roughly. So with that, for the most recent analysis for your area, you can give us a call at 321-723-5759. You can place an order online at ROFFS.com, and you can email us at fishing@roffs.com. We did have the Miami Boat Show last week, so it was great to meet everyone that we saw there. Yeah, thank you very much. Tight lines.